Welcome to College Football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. The number 2 team in the country on the road in primetime as number 2 Alabama 9-0 makes the 90-mile drive to Starkville to face number 16 Mississippi State. The crowd is loud and hostile. And Alabama likely will be number 1 next week if it can win this game, because Georgia, the current number 1, getting blown out at Auburn 40-10 with just a few minutes left in that game. Wisconsin a winner, big over Iowa. So 4 unbeaten teams left in FBS entering this one. And hi, everybody, alongside Greg McElroy, I'm Dave Pasch. We'll get to Tom Luginbill in a minute. Well, Greg, Alabama has won 30 consecutive regular season games going back to the Ole Miss game in 2015. But this is a tough place to play, especially at night. You played here with Alabama. The current quarterback for Alabama, Jalen Hurts, he's been so poised, Greg. He's only turned it over once all year. He's done a tremendous job. And so many people look at Jalen Hurts. They say, where can he improve? Well, he's 23-1 as a starter, so he's off to a pretty dang good start. But if you look at the way he works in the pocket, there is a little bit of an issue with sometimes trying to escape a little too early. He did a great job last week against LSU, feeling the pressure in the pocket, moving while still remaining a passer and keeping his eyes downfield right here on 3rd down, stepping up, hitting Ridley over the middle. But of course, Jalen Hurts, he's got to be an athlete. He's one of the best runners at the quarterback position in college football. And if you don't contain him with your pass rush, he can get out on the edge and make big plays happen. The numbers were pedestrian, but he took a big step forward. Maybe even a bigger challenge tonight, though, Tom Luginbill, going against the stout Mississippi State defense.
Well, there's no question, Greg, and the guy to keep an eye on up front is number 94, Jeffrey Simmons. He's the war daddy. He's the disruptive guy that is going to be tasked with stopping those inside runs. It is imperative for Mississippi State on defense to put Alabama in obvious passing situations, which means winning on 1st and 2nd down versus that stable of running backs. Now, this is a defense that has been opportunistic. They create turnovers. This is a team that turns turnovers into points. And if you're going to beat Alabama, it's tough to do it without them helping you. They need to give you points. They need to have a breakdown in the kicking game. You need to take those turnovers. 7 turnovers have been forced by this Mississippi State defense. 3 of them returned for touchdowns. Something like that has to happen tonight for Mississippi State to have an opportunity.
And Tom, during this 4-game win streak for Mississippi State, it's not just about causing turnovers. It's about great plays by the quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, who has rushed for over 100 yards in 4 straight games. The first SEC quarterback to do that in 20 years. And in talking with Nick Saban last night, he's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Fitzgerald, just from an athletic standpoint, is as good as any in college football. He hasn't yet hit that ceiling, but he's on his way there. And to win tonight, he has to put together a superhuman effort. He's going to do it by trying to get to the perimeter in the run game. He's also going to have to throw into very tight windows. Alabama's secondary is elite, so he's going to be accurate and on time when he does deliver the football. He's also going to have to rely on Dan Mullen, one of the best offensive minds in college football. He's got to get some guys open for Nick Fitzgerald, and when those open guys are there, he's got to deliver the ball accurately. Alabama defensively a little bit beat up at the linebacker spot, though, Tom.
There's no question that the Alabama Crimson Tide, they're banged up. They're playing without 4 starting linebackers tonight, 2 of which, Mack Wilson and Sean Dion Hamilton, went down in the last 2 weeks. This is a concept-based defense. It relies upon communication. This is a defense where the linebackers are the quarterbacks. And so look for Mississippi State tonight to try and get some of these younger players. Keith Holcomb, number 42, the true freshman, number 18. Dylan Moses. Get those guys to commit some eye violations. Move the formations around, shift, motion, and try and get Alabama out of their element. I would expect the Crimson Tide tonight to stay as basic as they can on defense to allow those young guys to play fast and not have to think too much.
And Holcomb, Tom, it's his first SEC start, and Moses is a true freshman. Meanwhile, for Mississippi State, the Bulldogs have some injury issues on offense. Their top 3 receivers are out. Malik Deer out for the season with a knee injury that happened earlier. Donald Gray and Gabe Miles, neither player available tonight, as Mississippi State looks to upset Bama.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by USAA. Show your appreciation this Veterans Day using #HonorThroughAction. Xfinity. Experience TV like never before with Xfinity X1. And Zales. 'Tis the season to save and sparkle more than ever.
Injuries are injuries, but when you get a rash of injuries at one particular position, that is a little more difficult to deal with.
There'll be other guys playing, there'll be newer guys, you'll see newer faces, but nothing changes.
The people that need to step up, I think they know who they are.
We're going to have some younger guys who have not played much be able to get themselves ready and get to the point where they can play winning football for us.
I don't know anybody that plays Alabama is not the underdog.
Outside of this facility, no one thinks that we're going to win. No one even gives us a shot. It hasn't happened since I've been here, so I mean, it'd be huge.
To be able to go out and play against a team that you've always been against your whole life is just it's a blessing.
Moments ago on the field, Jeffrey Simmons with the chain as if to say, you shall not pass. And Alabama players don't like that. The Bulldogs sideline roaring. So is everybody else with cowbell in hand here at Mississippi State. Nick Saban's last loss against Mississippi State was his first year as the head coach at Alabama. The Tide won the toss, deferred selection, so Mississippi State will start on offense. J.K. Scott putting it away. And Mississippi State will start on the 25-yard line. Junior quarterback Nick Fitzgerald. Big guy, 6'5", 230 pounds from Richmond Hill, Georgia, but originally from Germany. His dad, Derek, was in the U.S. Air Force for 20 years. Nick played receiver for 3 years until moving to quarterback as a senior, playing for his father, Derek, in high school. And along with Lamar Jackson, Nick Fitzgerald, they are the only quarterbacks with 1,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards this season. Fitzgerald going to throw it deep on first down. He's got a receiver, but he overthrows a wide open Keith Mixon. That might have been a touchdown. It certainly would have been a huge play to start the game.
Trying to make a statement early. Talked about the perimeter rushing attack of Mississippi State. Faking that perimeter run, trying to hit a deep post over the top. And the deep balls that Nick Fitzgerald has missed over the 2 years as the starting quarterback here in Starkville have plagued this team from time to time. Few bigger than the one he missed right there.
Because to beat Bama, you got to hit on those when you get those opportunities. Play fake. Fitzgerald in the pocket, throwing again. It's high, way over the head of the intended receiver, Jordan Thomas.
Well, Nick Fitzgerald's got to settle down here a little bit here on the first drive. Coming out of high school was a triple option guy. Attempted just 76 passes coming out of high school. Really limited his recruiting. 2 offers, including Mississippi State. And the key for Dan Mullen was getting this young man on campus, getting him into camp so that he could evaluate him and that the young man could show what he was worth in person. And if you can give Dan Mullen credit in any area, he knows how to develop quarterbacks.
You talk about Dak Prescott, who was the predecessor for Nick Fitzgerald, and what he did for Dan Mullen's team and what he's doing now in the NFL. Big shoes to fill. Fitzgerald has done a pretty good job so far. Coming into tonight, 3rd and 10, another pass play instead. Fitzgerald is sacked back at the 12 by Rashaan Evans. Maybe Alabama's best player defensively.
You can see standing up on the right, trying to create options. Up front, just a delayed blitz. You have one-on-one on the outside. Evans pretends, relaxes, and then recognizes drop back and goes full speed to bring down Fitzgerald. Great start to the Alabama defense.
And Greg, that's only the 6th sack allowed by Mississippi State. Good punt, though. Fair caught by Marks at the 34-yard line. And here comes Jalen Hurts.
I'm a proud Texan. Being from Texas is a little different. I feel like we're built different. You know, you hear the motto, don't mess with Texas. And It was just a pride thing. There's a lot going down there, I say, but the least I can do is play for them on Saturday.
There was a penalty marker down. We'll have to wait for Jalen Hurts to take the field here. But Hurts out of Houston, a true sophomore. He's responsible for 53 touchdowns, 33 passing, 20 rushing. Rushed for over 600 yards this season, over 900 last season. There was a leaping penalty on the punt. So it is a first down for Mississippi State. So the Bulldogs have the ball on their 30-yard line. Leaping penalty on the punt called against the tie. And they're going to run. Aris Williams able to break a tackle. And a gain of 8 yards out to the 38-yard line. So
here's the penalty.
Cook on the punt. And the defender for Alabama going over the top. And that was the foul.
Good call by the officials, giving Mississippi State new life after the 3 and out.
2nd and 2. They're going to run Williams again, and he stood up by Evans and Raekwon Davis. Davis 6'7", 300 pounds. So hard to run between the tackles against Alabama.
They're so sound defensively. They almost always have guys in the correct spot, in the correct gap. And seldom do they miss a tackle. Alabama's defensive group over the last decade have been among the elites in college football. Few better.
3rd and inches. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Williams again. And good push by that offensive line, which, Greg, you said is the best offensive line that Bama's played this season.
They are, especially the left side of the offensive line, which was the point of entry there for Mississippi State's offense. Martinez Rankin and Darrell Williams on the left-hand side. They're big, they're physical, and this Bulldog front really plays with a chip on their shoulder. They love to set the tone up front. They've done a good job of it over the last 3 plays.
Rankin back at left tackle after missing time due to injury. Fitzgerald getting to the perimeter before he's bumped out of play after a gain of about 3 or 4. So important to have Rankin back at left tackle. He had an ankle injury that cost him 4 games. Played a little bit last week in a win over UMass. They need him, obviously, tonight if they're going to win this game against 2nd-ranked Alabama.
It's so hard to contain Alabama up front, especially when you're not at 100%. Fortunately for the Bulldogs, Martinez Rankin, very well regarded throughout the SEC and by NFL scouts.
So they spread him out here on 2nd down and 7. Fitzgerald, a lot of his passes have been high. This one's on the money for a first down to Reggie Todd. Into Bama territory at the 44-yard line.
Trying to get Nick Fitzgerald into a rhythm throwing it. First 2 passes were off the mark. Now you try to bring it underneath with a slant. Very advanceable route. Nice accurate throw on the face mask. And a nice pickup for the Bulldog offense.
And Greg, he's going to have to be accurate tonight because so far Alabama's lined up in press across the board. They feel confident they can match up with Mississippi State's personnel. Is going to be some tight windows here tonight.
Last year they couldn't score when they got into Bama territory. Will tonight be different? Fitzgerald on the rollout, and the pass is caught by Mitchell. Osiris Mitchell getting work tonight because of all the injuries they have at the receiver position. 8-yard pickup.
This might be an opportunity on 2nd and short. Not only is it likely 4-down territory, but if I'm Mississippi State, I might try to hit a play-action shot down the field, knowing I can come back and get it potentially on 3rd down.
And remember, it was open on the very first play. Fitzgerald just overshot the receiver. Little option here on 2nd and 2, and the pitch to Williams, and he's going to get cut down. Anthony Averett coming up in run support. It'll be 3rd and 2 for Mississippi State on the 36-yard line.
Tell you, Greg, getting 3rd and 2 for this offense, I mean, that's a dream. They've got to be in 3rd and short all night long to have a chance. In this drive, they've had 3rd and less than 1, 3rd and 2 here. That's the recipe for Mississippi State.
And Tom, Dan Mullen's not pulling any punches. You got to think it's 4-down territory when you get to this part of the field. So they might have 2 downs to get it, even if they're stopped short here.
Yeah, they got a walk-on freshman kicker who hasn't missed this year, but he also hasn't kicked one from this length. They hand it off to Williams. He is stopped. Deron Payne, the nose man, with the hit. So it's 4th and 2. It would be about a 54-yard try. Again, the kicker, Jace Christman. His long in the season is 45. The offense is staying on the field. This is not even a thought for Dan Mullen, as you said. He's going.
Clearly, the crowd approves of the decision to potentially go for it.
And now they got to calm down.
I almost think, though, guys, it's too early. Why not punt it, try to pin him deep?
This is Dan Mullen's philosophy. Aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Try to win it with his offense.
Now Fitzgerald gets up under center, maybe just trying to draw Alabama offside. And they're going to take the penalty and punt it. I think this is the right call by Dan Mullen here. Pin Alabama deep, play defense.
5-yard penalty.
Ken Williamson, the referee. And you've already flipped the field. Now you're just hoping that your punter, Logan Cook, can do his job. Senior kicker's got a lot of experience, but look on the season, 0 punts inside the 20. Xavier Marks is the deep man. Alabama had a leaping penalty trying to block a punt earlier on this drive. And you see there, they won't even try. Beautifully done, Mississippi State all over that. Great punt, and Chris Rayford was down there for the Bulldogs.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton.
Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. It's a final at Auburn, 40-17. Georgia gets rolled. So there will be a new #1 when the college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday night. Will it be Alabama? The Tide starts on offense from the 5-yard line. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. Damian Harris in the backfield with him. And it's going to be Harris. Good gain on 1st down, out to the 10 for 5 yards. Hurts, a true sophomore, had maybe his best day as a quarterback against Mississippi State a year ago. 4 touchdown passes and a rushing score. Harris again, and this time he stacks up at the line of scrimmage. Got a yard. It'll be 3rd down for Bama. Montez Sweat in there.
The atmosphere on that end of the field, it's not quite as loud as the other, but the communication so difficult for Alabama in this very hostile environment.
Look at that D-line for Mississippi State. Everybody standing up at the line of scrimmage. Hurts gets hit, spun down at the 5-yard line. Sacked by J.T. Gray, forcing a punt.
Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, opts to bring pressure off the left-hand side, and you see Gray just slip right around the left guard, Pierschbacher, wrapping up Jalen Hurts in the backfield. Huge play from this Bulldog defense.
J.K. Scott at the back of the end zone to punt. This is his 54th game at Alabama. He's been in this situation before. Gets off an excellent kick, and wow. Dedrick Thomas fair catching it, falling down. He's their 5th string punt returner. They've had so many injuries at that position. Mississippi State's defense gets a stop and forces a punt.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by Kia. Hurry in during Kia's Light Up the Holiday Sales event. Offers end soon.
Mississippi State quarterback Nick Fitzgerald from a military family. His father, Derek, who I spoke to this week, said he served as an air traffic controller basically in the Air Force for 20 years. Nick was born in Germany, moved to Florida at the age of 1. After retiring, his father became Nick's football coach. As Fitzgerald with a back shoulder throw that's caught. Jordan Thomas to the 34-yard line of Alabama. Gain of 24.
Jordan Thomas is a matchup that Dan Mullen wants to take advantage of tonight. He's 6'5", 280 pounds, going against Averett, a corner. Jeremy Pruitt, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, was concerned about the ability that Thomas had, and he felt as though if he got in one-on-one situations against these corners, that would not be good for the Crimson Tide.
So 2nd time already Mississippi State has been in Alabama territory. Fitzgerald keeping it here, turning it up inside to the 28-yard line. 5-yard run for Fitzgerald is a big dude at 6'5", 230.
Greg, you talk about that matchup on the outside, and Dan Mullen talked about having those opportunities. He said, hey, we can formation them. I can get the one-on-one that I want, but now we've got to execute it. And in that particular instance, they executed it perfectly, which sets up the next rundown with your best runner and the ball in his hands.
Yeah, it was well covered. Just almost impossible to stop a well-thrown back shoulder, Tom.
On 2nd and 5, it's a run play. Williams pushing the pile near the first down marker, but just short. Raekwon Davis on the stop. 3rd down and 1. We saw this on the last drive where they get 3rd and short. Now they're in field goal range. See if that offensive line can lean on Alabama's defensive line, which is awfully hard to do, but if any group can, it's this one.
Last time on 3rd down and short, they didn't run Fitzgerald. They tried to get it to one of their running backs. In short yardage, you got a guy that's 6'5", 230 pounds. Run the big fella and see if you can get some surge.
Between the tackles or perimeter?
Perimeter.
Instead, Fitzgerald straight ahead, bouncing off the tackle inside the 15-yard line. Well, you called for it. Fitzgerald, he ran it. He got 11 yards.
So they challenged the teeth of the Alabama defense. Keith Holcomb, number 42, filling in for the injured Sean Dion Hamilton. He's there. He just doesn't make the tackle. Great job by Fitzgerald, spinning off the would-be tackler and falling forward for a big 1st down.
Greg and Dave, take a look at how long Mississippi State is taking in the huddle.
Just
they are slowing this game down.
Yeah, just going to say that, Luke. You've got 10.5 minutes gone by. Bama's had the ball for 3 plays. They hand it off here to Williams. He gets drilled at the 11-yard line by Davis again. Gain of 2 or 3. For Harris Williams.
You're going to hear that name a lot. Raekwon Davis, number 99, only a sophomore. He might be the best looking defensive lineman in the country. He's 6'7", and I think that's a little short, frankly. He's every bit of 6'7" in the hook, maybe 6'8", 310, and so versatile and athletic. Very long there in the trenches. Been very active early in this one.
2nd and 7. Williams again down to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown, Mississippi State. It all all started with the penalty on Alabama for leaping that kept the first drive alive for Mississippi State, which gave them field position. And then the touchdown run by Williams as Alabama trails Mississippi State for the first time in a game since 2008. Williams with a rushing score, and the Dogs strike first. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. Harris Williams with his third rushing touchdown. It's the first quarter rushing touchdown given up by Alabama in the last 21 games. Remarkable. Diggs and Ruggs are deep for Alabama. But this will go through the end zone, a touchback as we check in with Adnan Burke in the studio.
All right, Dave Pass, thank you very much. Rocket Mortgage playing with confidence update. Auburn and Georgia, the Deep South's oldest rivalry, and what a performance Auburn put on. Jared Stidham to Kerryon Johnson here. Before today, the #1 team in the playoff era had lost 4 times by a total of 21 points. Georgia loses by 23 to Auburn. What a game. Dave?
And then check this out. Alabama coming into tonight trailing for only 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and they're down late first quarter to Mississippi State. Not much there for Scarborough on first down, only a yard.
I want to go back to the touchdown. Alabama's so good up front that you have to create opportunities with leverage by looping pullers around. Look at 51, Stuart Reese. A great job getting to Holcomb and allowing the touchdown.
Hurts to run here on second down. Out past the 30-yard line. Picks up 4. Leo Lewis on the stop. It'll be third down. And again, look at that D-line for Mississippi State. Everybody standing up. They bring pressure. Hurts pass pulled in for a first down. Ridley wide open. He makes a defender miss and still going. Ridley past the 30-yard line. Ridley to the 10. And finally they get him out of bounds. Calvin Ridley, the best player on offense for Alabama, left wide open.
All because of the protection up front. Mississippi State opting for blitz, which leaves their secondary in isolations. And when you leave Calvin Ridley in a one-on-one situation, he's going to make you pay. Huge play for the Crimson Tide.
64 yards. Down to the 6-yard line. Hurts will run off the left side. Stiff arming. Lunging. And they mark him down at the 1-yard line.
Great effort by Hurts. Looks like that left knee was down, so I think the spot's correct, but tremendous effort by the sophomore.
Second and goal from the 1. That's Scarborough in the backfield at 240 pounds, but it's Hurts going to the perimeter and pushed out of bounds, but he got in. Touchdown, Alabama. Eighth rushing touchdown this season for Jalen Hurts, who just beat the defender to the corner.
So much green grass to the field for Jalen Hurts, and it's a foot race. Him and Brandon Bryant to the pylon. Jalen Hurts wins it. What an answer by Alabama's offense.
Yeah, we showed that graphic about trailing for 2 minutes and 26 seconds all season. They trailed for 1:54 before scoring a touchdown and then tying it with a point after. Kick off your Week 10 NFL Sunday with a countdown crew at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. And our Monday Night Football matchup this week, the 4-4 Dolphins against Cam Newton and the 6-3 Panthers. Monday Night Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 Eastern on ESPN. response by Alabama, trailed for less than 2 minutes. 64-yard pass play to Ridley, setting up the Jalen Hurts touchdown run. Four unbeatens left in college football, with Georgia losing tonight. Alabama, Wisconsin, Miami's playing Notre Dame shortly on ABC. And UCF, short kickoff fielded at the 10-yard line by Todd. Out to the 27.
Want to go back to the last drive and look at that long pass play by Alabama. Mississippi State opting to bring pressure off the right-hand side. This is called a trap 2. You see those two safeties deep? And the corners underneath, nothing but wide open space over the middle of the field, and that's exactly where Calvin Ridley got to. Tremendous job up front by Alabama's offensive line, picking up that pressure and giving Jalen Hurts a couple seconds to find Ridley streaking. And then, of course, Ridley making it happen after the catch.
That was Mark McLaurin that missed the tackle, which led to the big run after the catch. From the Mississippi State 27-yard line, little mix-up. Fitzgerald colliding with Kylan Hill, and Fitzgerald keeping it for 3 yards. Mississippi State beat LSU big at home earlier this season, but in the games where they played top 10 teams this year, they have not fared well. They lost 49-10 at Auburn, 31-3 at Georgia. Much better start tonight against Alabama. Quick throw by Fitzgerald to the true freshman Hill. Slammed down at the 32-yard line by Levi Wallace. Gain a couple. Third down coming up.
Good job by Levi Wallace there, shedding the blocker and making just what could have been a decent gain, a very short one, and setting up a third and a little bit more difficult than the 3rd and 2s they've seen to this point.
Greg, that's where I think Alabama's so good on defense. They're difficult to block, and then they tackle in space. Tackling in today's offensive game of football is so difficult that you got to limit those leaky yards after the ball's been caught.
Fitzgerald on 3rd and 4 with time. Broken off, incomplete. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Oh, a flag is thrown. Fitzpatrick looked like he made a good play on the football. Maybe he got the receiver with the left hand as he was knocking the ball away with his right.
Holding against an eligible receiver, number 6 of the defense.
So it was away from the
pass.
It's on Hootie Jones. That's the second big penalty by Alabama that's led to a Mississippi State first down.
You can see him right here. Hootie Jones on the right-hand side. He grabs that collar. That's a great call by the official.
Easy call. Are you surprised, Greg, at how much Mississippi State is huddling, trying to shorten the game?
I'm not surprised at all. The more plays you play against Alabama, the more difficult it becomes. Got to take your chances when you can.
From the 42-yard line, big hit in the backfield. A helmet comes off as Fitzpatrick makes the tackle. He's going to have to come out for a play. Tackles Kylan Hill, but because he lost his lid, he's got to sit out for a play. See if Mississippi State tries to snap it here. Doesn't look like it will. And we'll go to the second quarter with the game tied at 7. Touchdown run by Aris Williams and a touchdown run by Jalen Hurts for Alabama. 1 quarter in the books here in Starkville. Number 16, Mississippi State 7. Second ranked Alabama 7. Second quarter coming up. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. And when you are born in Starkville, you are born with a cowbell in hand. Everybody's got them here at Davis Wade Stadium.
He's loving it.
It's awesome.
Greatness.
So Minkah Fitzpatrick out for this play because he lost his helmet. Mississippi State on 2nd and 10. Going to run Aris Williams, who had the touchdown earlier, and he gets a first down here. It's the 3rd time already Mississippi State has been in Alabama territory.
That's a good job of misdirection. Look at how he starts to his right and then comes back around to his left and follows big 61, Deion Calhoun, through the left-hand side. Nice counter action. Alabama's so aggressive and so good and versatile up front. You need to get their big guys running in one direction and then come back the other way. Misdirection's imperative for Mississippi State to try to create opportunities on the ground.
Aris Williams gained 10 pounds from last year. Got a lot stronger. They try to run between the tackles. Picking a hole here, moving the pile a little bit, but Isaiah Buggs pushes him back. Gain of 3, though. I mean, they'll take that run on the football between the tackles against Alabama.
Positive yardage against this defense is a plus. Now, you can't gain 3 on every down, obviously, and get the first, naturally, by mathematics. But Alabama so far, you've seen them have a couple issues at the 2nd level with their linebackers. Holcomb in particular missed a couple tackles. Now Holcomb not on the field. In is number 18, Dylan Moses, the freshman in the middle of the field.
Williams again. And this time brought down after a gain of about 1 by Anthony Jennings. You mentioned the linebackers. Talked about it in the open with Mack Wilson and Sean Dion Hamilton out for the season. Holcomb comes back in. This is his first SEC start. 4 linebackers out for Alabama.
And Alabama's about the only team in college football that could handle this type of devastation at the linebacker level. They've recruited so well at every position. But it's no denying that the most important part of their defense is the 2nd level. And they're missing some key players tonight.
3rd and 7 for Mississippi State from the 43-yard line. Fitzpatrick throws to the sideline. It's caught, and fighting for the first down is Justin Johnson as he's able to break a tackle and move the sticks. 6'3", 247 pounds, tough for a defensive back to bring down.
Yeah, Johnson just drags Tony Brown. That's all effort. I mean, Averett's trying to get there, and Tony Brown's in a good spot. He's just given up 50 pounds almost to Johnson. It's tough to drag him down when he has forward momentum. Tremendous job by Justin Johnson from Birmingham. You got to think he's got a little left in the tank, knowing that he's playing against his home state school.
Oh, yeah. These two schools separated by only about 90 miles. They're going to run Williams again, in trouble in the backfield. Dragged down. Loss of 1. It's big. Quinnen Williams, you talk about the athletic ability of some of these guys. I was watching him return punts in warm-ups down on the field. Quinnen Williams at 290.
And Tom, you know recruiting as well as anybody. Try to put into perspective just how good this front 7 is from a recruiting standpoint and a depth standpoint.
Well, let's see. I'm counting right now.
How many stars?
Hold on. No, forget the stars. 1. Hold on. I'm counting them. 1, 2, 3, 8. 8 Under Armour All-Americans are on the field right now for Alabama on defense.
Yeah, some of those guys are backups, including Brian Ray, a true freshman who's in. Williams off the left side. And close to the first down. Inside the 30. 3rd and short for the Bulldogs.
A great run right there and a good job up front by this big offensive line. They found something that they like on this left side. They've used some pullers. They've used some wrappers. Dan Mullen knows that the left side of his offensive line is outstanding. And they've leaned on those big guys up front for a majority of this first half. Expect him to lean on that left side again right here on 3rd and short.
Fitzgerald fakes, now throws, caught inside the 10-yard line for Rod Green. Another tight end down to the 5. 1st and goal.
And a good job just releasing vertical off the play action. Ronnie Harrison is looking in the backfield. He's a half-second late to turn upfield, and that results in a big completion.
1st and goal. Aris Williams into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown. The Dogs came to play. And how about Aris Williams? 14 carries already for 60 yards. We mentioned their 2 blowout losses this year. He struggled in those games. He's already got more yards in this one than he had in those 2 losses. The extra point is good at 14-7, Mississippi State.
Dan Mullen knew that they had to establish the line of scrimmage. He challenged his offensive line, and they've responded. Just another day in the park, Mr. Mullen.
The ESPN app is a fan's best friend, and ours too, frankly. Every ESPN, ABC college football game is streaming live. Access to scores. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. We're on that thing constantly, especially for these night games. We're watching games earlier during the day. Upset already tonight. Georgia going down. Alabama trailing by 7. And look at the rushing yards for Mississippi State. Alabama only gives up 76 rushing yards per game. Deep kickoff by Cook. It will come out to the 25. We were talking with Dan Mullen yesterday, and remember they had a losing season last year, so his name wasn't out there a whole lot, but it is now. And he said, look, I've been here for 9 years. People just assume that I want another job, but I love it here. Now, I'm sure there are jobs out there he would look at if offered, but he said this is a place he loves, and obviously he's built this thing up.
He has, and he's built it in his image. I mean, it's a tough blue-collar football team that really responds to the challenges that he provides. What a job he's done in Starkville. It's obvious why everyone thinks he's one of the best coaches around.
Play action for Hurts. Going to dump it off to Hentges, the tight end, out near the 34. And the thing with Mullen is he worked for Urban Meyer, with him at Utah, with him at Florida. His development of quarterbacks, something that probably doesn't get talked about enough.
And identifying talent, too. He knows what to look for from an intangible standpoint.
On 2nd and short, they run Josh Jacobs, and he's able to get the first down to the 38-yard line.
You know, guys, this is the first series that Alabama has been backed up in the closed end of this field, and it is getting loud, and they've done a nice job of moving away from the sound.
Jacobs hit in the backfield, able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Marquise Spencer was there first. And then Corey Thomas, who's been out with a foot injury, cleaned him up. Missed the last 3 games, but is back tonight. 2nd and 10 for Alabama. Time to throw for Hurts. Climb in the pocket, but everybody covered, so he takes off. Now airs it out. Ridley is free again. Pushed out of bounds at the 1. That's twice Mississippi State has forgotten about the best player on the field for Alabama.
I love that this part of Jalen Hurts' game is really starting to come along. Last year, he would have taken off and run. Now, eyes are downfield. He identifies an open receiver and delivers it very accurately on the run.
On 1st and goal, Jacobs into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama. "61-yard pass play to Ridley sets up the 1-yard score by Jacobs."
So much poise for this Alabama offense. As soon as they get hit, they counterpunch. Hit, counterpunch. And they did so with a big play in the passing game by their quarterback and their outstanding 3-year starter at wide receiver, Calvin Ridley.
Just remarkable, though, that twice Mississippi State has lost Ridley, leading to touchdowns for Alabama as we are tied at 14.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Allstate. official protector of college football fans, and Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
So Alabama's trailed twice tonight, but for a total of only 3 minutes and for 10 snaps, 16 snaps all season long. Both touchdowns set up by huge pass plays to Ridley. On the goal line, here's Reggie Todd, hit at the 10, and down he goes, but a flag. If that's on Mississippi State, they'll have to start from their 5-yard line. Brian Robinson, huge hit.
Block in the back. Return team, number 29. Half the distance from the goal. First down.
Huge penalty. They'll start at the 5.
Huge penalty here. You can see right in the middle. Right there. And that's just in front of the referee. And they're going to call that every single time. C.J. Morgan's got to understand that when that kickoff player crosses face, you can't hit him in the back and put your offense in a very difficult spot here on their own 5.
The first time, Greg, we've seen this field position flipped in Alabama's favor.
Fitzgerald keeping it, able to get outside, and he's able to get the first down, scooting out of bounds. 12-yard run for Fitzgerald. They had numbers on that right side. Fitzgerald coming into tonight with over 800 rushing yards. He's got 13 career games where he's rushed for 100 yards. That is a record for an SEC quarterback.
He is a very, very athletic player and is getting better in the passing game every week.
They go empty here on first down from the 17. Fitzgerald. Great catch at the 40-yard line. Then it comes out. Thomas had it, but just couldn't hang on. Would have been a gain of about 30, at least.
Man. Huge play potentially. Thomas just can't reel it in. He knew the hit was coming, and it just slips right out of his grasp.
Just a terrific throw, Greg, from Fitzgerald. This is the most accurate I've seen him all year long.
No doubt, Tom. And you see big Jordan Thomas going to the sideline. The Bulldogs need him on the field. That's been a very good matchup for them so far.
2nd and 10. Fitzgerald running in trouble and slammed down Rashaan Evans. That's 2 tackles for a loss tonight for Evans. We talked about the guys they don't have at linebacker, but as long as Evans is on the field, they're okay.
They got him. That's a big deal. Rashaan Evans, just another in the long line of outstanding linebackers for Alabama. Thomas still shaken up on the sideline. Very difficult 3rd down here for Mississippi State. Alabama so good in coverage and terrific rushing the passer, averaging almost 5 sacks a game the last 4 games.
Mississippi State doesn't give up sacks, though. Only 6 on the year, but 1 tonight. Play clock winding down. It's a 2. 3rd and 13, and Fitzgerald just a quarterback draw. And he's out to the 20, so that's just to get some yardage and give their punter some more room. Hopefully help themselves with field position.
And a few missed opportunities for Mississippi State so far. The first play of the game, they try to go deep. Nick Fitzgerald overthrows it. He's made some great plays between then and now, and made a great one too when he threw it to Thomas. Thomas drops it. You can't make mistakes like that against Alabama because they're going to get it back now with tremendous field position.
10 punts this season for Cook have gone more than 50 yards. Mississippi State could use one of those right here. And it is an excellent punt. Marks the kick, but able to fall on it at the 17-yard line. They flip the field with a 62-yard punt and a near giveaway. Muffed punt by Marks, but able to jump on it.
It's number 1 versus number 2 and number 4 versus number 5. One night, 2 blockbuster matchups.
The college football playoff rankings will be announced from those games. Will Alabama be number 1? Georgia lost, so there will be a new number 1. But Bama right now tied with Mississippi State. First down on the 18-yard line. They run Damian Harris, and he gets 3 to the 21-yard line. New offensive coordinator this year at Alabama with Brian Dable taking over. 17 seasons in the National Football League. But he goes back with Nick Saban to Michigan State. He was a GA there when Saban was the head coach of the Spartans.
What a job he's done.
On 2nd and 7, Hurts to the air. Again has time. Keeping his eyes downfield. Being chased and throwing it out of bounds. Trying to hit Jerry Jeudy.
You know, Greg, I'm okay with that right there. You don't make a dumb play with the football backed up. But what's most important is the development of Hurts and his ability to work through progressions, stick within the structure of the offense. And now what he's going to have to do is communicate to his team because it's getting cranked up.
Yeah, 3rd and 7 here, Tom. He was outstanding on 3rd down last week. Can it continue here tonight in a very hostile environment?
And Dable's done a really good job with Hurts, improving his game as a passer. 3rd down. Back shoulder to Ridley, and it's incomplete. Alabama will have to punt.
Really well covered.
It landed out of bounds. I thought he stepped out of bounds first and didn't reestablish anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, that was bang, bang. Of course, they review every play. I think Nick Saban wants him to take a longer look at it.
Yeah, I wonder what
going on the field was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
Did the foot touch before his backside hit out of bounds?
Right.
But look, he's out of bounds there. Does he reestablish to begin with?
Doesn't look like he reestablishes himself. It doesn't look like it to me. So close. Of course, on these reviews, there has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. Right there, it's so close. It's so bang, bang. It's difficult to assume that they're going to overturn this one.
And again, it looked like he was out of bounds, and he went out on his own to begin with. Wasn't pushed out initially. So he shouldn't be eligible to even catch that.
I think that's going to be the question here, guys, because if you look at the actual reception, he secured the ball with his left foot in bounds.
They're trying to see if he established himself for sure, but by the letter of the law, I don't think he did, which would result in illegal touching here.
And again, he went out on his own.
Went out on his own, was not forced out. So a lot to consider here for the replay officials and those back in Birmingham at the SEC office.
This should stand. It would be 4th down. But even on that play there, you see the growth of Hurts and the work that Dable has done with him, right?
Yeah, and obviously the rapport that he started to develop with Calvin Ridley. That's tight coverage, well covered, well thrown. Good job by Mississippi State, but sometimes a better throw beats that good coverage. But it looks as though they ran out of room there on the boundary for Alabama.
So again, they're looking to see if he went out on his own first, or was he pushed out? And again,
after further review, although the player possessed the ball and was inbounds when he grabbed it, he also stepped out of bounds prior to the touch. Therefore, it's a foul for illegal touching on number 3. It's an incomplete pass. It's still 4th down.
If you're pushed out by the defender, you can reestablish, but he was not. Therefore, you can't go out of bounds on your own and then be the first guy to touch the football. So it is an incompletion, 4th down.
Yeah, that's a good job by the officials. And Calvin Ridley's having a chat with them, trying to understand what just happened. Hang on a second, I caught it. No, the decision has been made, and I think it was a good one.
Dedrick Thomas is back. J.K. Scott had a killer punt the first time, and Thomas had trouble with it. He also has a punt return for a touchdown this year. That was last week. This is not a good kick by Scott, but it takes a couple of Alabama hops. Thomas picked it up and got leveled right as he grabbed it by Holcomb, and Mississippi State will start at its 30-yard line midway through the second quarter, all even. Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Welcome back to College Football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. Alabama ranked number 2, Mississippi State number 16. We're tied at 14. Packed house here in Starkville. Mississippi State back on offense on its 30-yard line. True freshman Kylan Hill behind Nick Fitzgerald, the quarterback. Hill finds a hole and is able to get out to the 34 for a 4-yard run. This is pretty darn good company for Nick Fitzgerald.
Yeah, it really is. And it's in really good company, too, when the first words that come out of Nick Saban's mouth, when you ask him to compare Nick Fitzgerald to a particular player that he's schemed against. First guy he said, Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
And then the second guy that Tom said was Matt Jones at Arkansas. I think he very closely resembles Matt Jones with how big his stride is and how much ground he can cover when he takes off with the football.
On 2nd and 6, Fitzgerald keeping it, and he's close to the first down. They'll mark him just short. Guys, what about the differences between him and Dak Prescott and how the run game is with Fitzgerald compared to what it used to be with Dak?
Dak is a little shiftier, a little bit better side to side. Fitzgerald is more explosive when it comes to running north and south. Of course, he's a little bit taller as well, just a couple inches though. So they're very similar with what they try to do with Fitzgerald and Dak. But Dak is a little bit better running between the tackles, where most of Fitzgerald's big plays come outside on the perimeter.
The huge 3rd and 1 here for Mississippi State. And they're going to hand it off, and it's a first down for Kylan Hill. True freshman from Columbus, Mississippi, which is about 20 minutes from Davis Wade Stadium. Moves the chains.
He's a big recruit, Dave, a 4-star guy in state. And this is a pretty deep stable of running backs. So for Kylan Hill to be able to get some turns on critical downs like a 3rd down there, that tells you how far this program has come under Dan Mullen and the caliber of athlete now that's coming to Starkville.
And they use Kylan Hill in so many different ways. His ability to process everything they're throwing at him as a true freshman is pretty remarkable.
They got to give Harris Williams a break. He's got 14 carries already in this game. Hill again. And this time Alabama's defensive line was better. Quinnen Williams is there for the Tide.
From an offensive standpoint, fellas, I don't know if this game could have gone any more better than it could be, because here's the deal. You slow down the game. Now all of a sudden you keep Alabama's offense on the sideline. You're frustrating them, and you've got balance run to pass, which I don't even think Mississippi State coming into the game thought they'd be able to run the football the way they have here tonight in the first half.
Yeah, the time of possession numbers are just staggering. Mississippi State dominating in that regard.
Over 20 minutes now with the football. Fitzgerald running the ball here. Wrapped up by Deron Payne, who was there first on the 44-yard line. Now 3rd down and long here. Mississippi State nearing 3 minutes to go in the first half.
You just have to stay out of these situations if you're Mississippi State. Coming into this game on 3rd and 8+ situations. It's exactly what this is. They convert only 17.5%. That's 104th in college football. They have to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down, because trying to gain big chunks against this defense in 3rd down is almost impossible.
Alabama rushes 5, and a deep ball through the hands of the intended receiver Reggie Todd, but Tony Brown jumped in front. That may have distracted the receiver. It's 4th down.
That was odd the way the ball was flying. Looks like Brown almost touched it, or he did touch it with that left hand, and Todd, he was all alone on the sideline.
I think he
wasn't on the depth chart coming into the season, but now, of course, forced into action. Just misplayed it in the air, looked like a little bit.
It was really hard to tell if Brown got a finger on it. Another missed opportunity on a deep ball, though, for Mississippi State. Mark's going to let this one go, and it checks up at the 2. You saw Cook with the golf swing there. He had some backspin on that baby. Let's go to the studio.
All right, Dave, thank you. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Georgia, #1 team in the country, losing to Auburn. What does that mean now for the playoff? Catholics versus convicts, Miami, Notre Dame, 2017. Update there. And, of course, one of the biggest games of the year in the Big 12, TCU and Oklahoma. Joey Galloway, Jesse Palmer, me, coming up. Dave, back to you.
All right, Adnan, thank you. Let's see how Alabama handles this. First down from its 2-yard line. They got big Bo Scarborough in there at running back. It Hurts in the pistol. Scarborough straight ahead. Out to the 4. At a 2-yard run. Big Jeffrey Simmons in the nose and a little pushing and shoving afterwards.
It's always difficult to be backed up on the road. It's especially difficult to be backed up with your back to the student section for Mississippi State and to hear those cowbells go clanging. Very difficult to communicate in this part of the field.
You speak from experience, huh?
I've been there. It wasn't built out the way it is now. It's a tough spot on the field to be for Alabama's offense.
Hurts changing things up here. Play clock at 7. Hurts running with Scarborough blocking, and Hurts is tattooed. Big hit by Fletcher Adams. There's a penalty marker down on the far side of the field at the 5-yard line. I think Dan Mullen was going to call timeout, but because of the penalty marker.
Defense number 34. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. For 2 second down.
Big mistake by Corey Thomas. Mullen was going to call timeout, but not now. So 2nd and 3 on the 9-yard line. It's Harris. Nowhere to go, but he breaks a tackle. Stumbles just short of the line to gain. Harris showing some power there. It's 3rd and 1.
Dan Muller's going to call timeout. Fittingly enough, the side judge was trying to alert the referee of the timeout being called, and he couldn't get his attention. That's how loud it is on that side of the field, Tom.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you talk to the Alabama coaches, and you look at the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. He's back here. They've got to communicate with all this noise, all these cowbells behind us here, and it starts getting cranked up. So it takes the verbal communication out of the equation. So we're going to watch here, and when you see teams in the shotgun, they've gotten away from speaking, and they've gone to the hand clap, which generally pierces the noise. But it's very difficult to do now that this stadium is enclosed in this end zone. We're going to see how this play goes. Come back to it, and let's see if my hand clap can pierce the sound of the cowbells.
Better clap loud, Tom.
Down and 1 for Alabama, and it's 11-yard line with 1:14 to go in a tie game. Hurts a design quarterback run, gets the first down, out to the 18-yard line. Actually heard it a little bit there.
You can hear it.
Yeah, because they quieted the crowd a little bit with that first down run. We get your point, though. Point taken. First down in the 17. Hurts to the air. Climbing the pocket, delivering a strike. Cam Sims on the catch out to the 35. And let's see now if Alabama uses a timeout. Clock will start on the ready for play as they reset the chain. Another pass play. Hurts setting up, and it's batted down, incomplete. Marquise Spencer appeared to be the one to get a hand on it. 2nd and 10. Keep in mind the field goal kicker for Alabama, Andy Papanastis. Long in the season is 46 yards, which means they need to get it down around the 28-yard line. Long way to go. Movement by Alabama. Matt Womack, the right tackle, first-year starter.
Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty.
Next they get the tight end, Irv Smith, for the penalty.
Here comes the crowd, fellas.
Their left guard, Ross Piercebaker, has not returned since an injury earlier. Hurts to the air, in trouble, escaping the pocket, and stopping the clock by scooting out of bounds, forced out by Spencer. Now 3rd and long. And if they don't get it, you would imagine that Dan Mullen will call a timeout. You're Todd Grantham. What are you doing here, Greg? Are you bringing the house here or no? Play it safe.
Play it safe. Drop back, play coverage. Try to rally to the football. You don't want to give up another big play. You've already given up a few this half. Just feel good about where you're at if you're Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator from Mississippi State.
And I guarantee you, all the players are saying cover number 3. Because he's the guy they've lost twice for big plays. It's a quarterback draw, and Hurts out to the 40. Dan Mullen should call a timeout here on 4th down, and he does with 32 seconds to go. So they'll have one timeout when they get the ball back. But you also have an excellent punter in J.K. Scott.
Nick Saban was trying to call timeout, fellas. I think Dan Mullen beat him to it.
Why would Nick Saban call a timeout?
He was running out. He ran out to the field and was given the timeout signal.
I'm surprised that Nick Saban would call a timeout unless you're going to go for it on 4th and 5 from your own 40, but that doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't think that's what he was thinking. No. I don't know if there was a miscommunication or something, but I applaud Dan Mullen for getting the timeout here because since 2014, Mississippi State is one of the best teams in college football when it comes to blocking kicks. They've blocked one already this year for a touchdown, so expect them to come after it here, be aggressive, and see if they can't get a hand on it.
All right, we all thought that maybe Alabama was vulnerable because of the injuries at linebacker, but are you surprised by what you've seen so far in this game?
I'm not. Their offense has played very well. They've had a few big plays. They've been relatively methodical. The one thing that I've seen, though, is their defense. They've actually gotten pushed around a little bit at the point of attack. They've also given up their fair share of explosive plays through the air and a couple missed opportunities, too, for Mississippi State. I think both teams will go to half feeling good about where they're at and saying, hey, we control the next 30 minutes. We're going to win the football game.
And look at this. Mississippi State has nobody back. They're just going to let Scott punt it, and it's not a very good kick. It was out of bounds around the 30-yard line.
I'm shocked that Mississippi State didn't want to come after that.
I wonder, Greg, when they saw Saban coming out to the field, were they worried about a fake? And so they said, you know what, let's just be safe here and not put a return man deep?
They went with an actual defense on the field. I mean, they were lined up in a simple quarters coverage. I can't say that I've seen that, especially when you've been opportunistic in the kicking game over the course of the last few years.
Well, it's interesting because they didn't go for the block, and now they're not going to go for yardage. They're just taking a knee here.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You're on your own 28-yard line. Take it to half. Don't let anything catastrophic happen. feel good about where you're at.
We're all even at 14 apiece. Number 1 Georgia has already gone down. Well, number 2 Alabama lose tonight in Starkville. Tied at halftime.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Number 2 Alabama and number 16 Mississippi State, even at 14 apiece as we get ready for the third quarter. Back with Greg McElroy, I'm Dave Pasch, Tom Luganville in a minute. And Greg, the story of this game is Mississippi State not letting Alabama's offense on the field. Bama was out there for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
The reason this game is tied because of the big plays.
Yeah, and it's because Mississippi State's done a tremendous job controlling the line of scrimmage. It's rare to see Alabama on the field for as much time as they were because they forced so many 3 and outs. But Mississippi State's commitment to the run game and the success that they've had doing it has been alarming. And I think that's something that Jeremy Pruitt, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, has to try to get addressed because Mississippi State did a tremendous job being methodical throughout the course of the first 30 minutes.
Alabama ran just 23 first-half plays, and they will start the second half on their 25-yard line.
Let's take a look at the All-State, all-hands-in play. Calvin Ridley has been a star tonight, much like he has over the course of his career. Big plays in the passing game. And right here in the scramble drill, uncovered, puts the mailbox sign up, raises that right hand, and a tremendous throw by Jalen Hurts. The passing game tonight has been outstanding, in large part due to what Calvin Ridley has done in uncovering and making plays after the catch.
And that stat right there is what really we've seen all year as they run Jacobs on a jet sweep here on the first play. Pinballs forward for a first down to the 37-yard line. But you look at Ridley coming into the game, 44 catches. The rest of the team has right around 44. Simmons and Sweat continue to push Alabama offensive linemen.
Ridley is as explosive a wide receiver as you'll see. Not as big as Amari Cooper, not as big as Julio Jones, but very quick and really good with the ball in his hands.
Number 2 all-time in catches at Alabama behind Amari Cooper. Hurts to the air. Short pass to Jacobs, and Jacobs able to stiff arm. And then Jacobs lowers the shoulder to the 44-yard line, gain of 7.
Well, fellas, it's not too surprising. Dan Mullen pretty pleased with the performance of his team in the first half. But the one area he said they've got to do a better job in is not missing opportunities for explosive plays. You remember the drop ball down the sideline with Thomas there in the second quarter. They can't allow that to happen again if they want to win tonight.
They fake the jet sweep and run Harris. Big hole inside the 40. Finally, down to the 10-yard line, Brandon Bryant tackles Harris. And Bryant shaken up on the play.
Harris has been so good this season. They hit the jet sweep on the first play of the half. They fake the jet sweep there, and Harris gets out the gate. Poor job at the second level by McLaurin, number 41. The safety sliding in there. And Harris, great job bursting for a huge play. He's been as reliable as any of the tremendous backs that Alabama's had this year.
Bryant is hurt. McLaurin missed a tackle on a Calvin Ridley pass in the first half and does so here as well. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. Tied at 14 early third, but Alabama's got a first and goal at the Mississippi State 9-yard line. Expedia reminds you we are here at Davis-Wade Stadium in Starkville. Matchup between Mississippi State and Alabama. Crimson Tide, if they win tonight, they'll be number 1 in the college football playoff rankings, you would imagine, on Tuesday, with Georgia losing big at Auburn. Meanwhile, Brandon Bryant shaken up for Mississippi State on the tackle of Damian Harris. Guy who's been through so much. His dad was killed in a motorcycle accident 2 years ago. He thought about quitting football. Came back to play for Mississippi State. And has played so well for them the last couple years. 3-year starter. That'd be a big loss.
Great effort by him, too. Chasing down Damian Harris. Hate to see that. Hope he's okay.
His replacement is Jonathan Abram, who did not play in the first half because of a targeting call last week. Abram suspended for the first half of this week's game. Hurts his head in the backfield and dropped. That's a huge play for Mississippi State. McLaurin was back there, along with Adams.
Just pressure coming off the left-hand side and the right-hand side.
Now Hurts with a quick throw out on the flat to Ridley. And Ridley is dropped by Tolando Cleveland. Gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line.
The big two-play sequence for Mississippi State after giving up the long run to Damian Harris. The tackle for loss, and then setting up now a 3rd and goal from the 12.
And Greg, that injury gave him a chance to regroup a little bit and settle down.
Alabama has not led tonight. Has trailed twice. 3rd and goal. Hurts, end zone, incomplete. Intended for Judy. He could not come up with it. Here comes the field goal team.
That's a massive stop from Mississippi State's defense. 2 high safeties trying to get that post route out of the slot to Judy. And really the first errant pass we've seen from Jalen Hurts tonight. He has been in such great command. That one coming out of his hand a little funky. Taking a nosedive like a sinker that a pitcher throws off the mound.
Papanastis on for a 30-yard field goal. Try to give Alabama its first lead. 17-14. The Tide in front.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Koch Industries, Challenge Accepted, and Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row.
Remember last year, Dak Prescott going crazy, watching Morgan Williams hit the game-winning shot to knock off UConn in the Final Four. Mississippi State ended up losing to South Carolina in the championship game. But their Final Four banner was raised last night. Morgan, her teammates, Coach Vic Schaefer getting their rings tonight.
Man, what a special moment that was. I mean, I was going crazy myself. I was like Dak.
Reggie Todd on the 2. Past the 20. And all the way to the 32-yard line. Nice return as we go to the studio in Adnan Burke.
Well, Dave Pax, the AT&T Field Pass. Let's get you up to date what's going on. First, with Big 12 action, TCU and Oklahoma. Huge game here, and that's Baker Mayfield to Grant Calcaterra. TCU known for that great defense, but so far they already get up 17 points, and it's early in the second. Also, Notre Dame, Miami on ABC. Look at Malik Rozier on the keeper. Right now, it is all Hurricanes, 14-0 early in the second. Dave?
Wow, imagine if number 1 and number 3 go down, and again, number 2 only has a 3-point lead. From the Mississippi State 31, Fitzgerald keeping, and a nice run of about 4.
It was an outstanding game plan coming in tonight for Mississippi State, trying to establish the line of scrimmage, particularly the left-hand side, because it sets up plays like this. They fake that same run action to the left, and they hit Green on the seam route in the red zone. It's been a nice mix of run-pass, but the amount of success they've had on the ground has really opened up their offense for Dan Mullen.
Got Harris Williams in the backfield with him. Williams had 14 carries, 60 yards in the first half. Fitzgerald keeping here, trying to get outside. Has the first down. And tackled out of bounds by Rashaan Evans. It is hard to outrun Rashaan Evans, and Fitzgerald just did it.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm saying, if you're breaking away from Rashaan Evans, who's one of the fastest, most disruptive linebackers in the game, clearly his speed is on display. It's not often you see an Alabama defender beaten to the perimeter, especially by a quarterback. It just goes to show you just how capable Fitzgerald is with the ball in his hands.
They're going to run again. Fitzgerald pitching it to Williams. And Williams out near midfield. Again, it's Evans on the stop, but they're getting excellent yardage on first down. That's a gain of 6.
Well, they're staying out of obvious passing downs by winning on first and second down, now in second and short. And Greg, to your point, if you can run the football like this and you decide to just sit in the huddle for a good 30 seconds, it's going to frustrate the defense that's used to dictating terms, and it keeps Jalen Hurts sitting on a bench.
More than 4 yards per play on first down, 4.5. Here's second and 4 at midfield. And a pass out of the backfield. Great catch by Gibson. First down to the 41. Well, you know when he comes into the game, there's a great chance they're going to throw it to him. It's a first down into Bama territory.
It's a great play call. Alabama goes with a little fire zone off the left-hand side, which vacates that area. And Gibson reels it in. Probably makes it a little harder than he had to, but burst forward. Really good play call, timely play call there by this Mississippi State offense.
And Gibson going to stay in for first down at the 41 of Alabama. 5 minutes gone by in the quarter. Gibson running right. And again, look at the yardage they're getting on first down. You just don't normally see Alabama's defensive line. You made this point in the first half. It's not about the linebackers, it's the D-line.
Yeah. You don't ever see Alabama's defensive line being driven back. It's rare. But to see this offensive line, and this is the best offensive line that Alabama has seen at any point this season. This group is tough, they're big, they're extremely physical, and they really play with a chip on their shoulder. This is a tremendous challenge for Alabama, and so far, Mississippi State's been up to the task.
Second and 6 on the 37 of Alabama. Fitzgerald to throw, and out of the backfield, it's pulled in by Williams, able to get the first down. Out of the 29, pushed out by Hootie Jones. Terrific drive against Nick Saban's defense.
Nick Saban frustrated with how they passed this off. And you can see Hootie Jones, he actually releases upfield, turns inside, and runs vertical, which allows the wide route to take place. If Hootie Jones would have stuck with that running back from the beginning of the play, it would have had a much smaller chance of getting positive yardage. Instead, it's first and 10 right on the fringe of the red zone.
Alabama only gives up 10 points per game. They've allowed 14 so far. Mississippi State going for more as that pass is knocked away and it's picked off. I thought it was intercepted by Holcomb. They ruled it incomplete, but I think they may have stayed off the ground there.
It did. But as Jamie Mosley was going to the field and sliding down, you'll see the ball just trickle out of his grasp. And look at this.
But does it ever hit the ground?
It does right there.
Yep, it did. You're right.
But my goodness, I mean, that ball was thrown a million miles an hour. Just see how quickly it bounced back on the recoil. And Mosley's unable to bring it in. Fortunate play there for Mississippi State.
On second and 10, another pass play. Fitzgerald gets hit, and the ball is incomplete. Fitzpatrick got to Fitzgerald. So it's third down and 10.
Just right around the right edge. You can see Fitzpatrick one-on-one against the running back, Harris Williams, who's solid in protection. But Fitzpatrick is just so elusive, came into the night a little concerned about his hamstring. Would he be full go? Would he be limited? Would they try to take advantage of him? And clearly that right hamstring not an issue after last week.
Be interesting to see what they call here. They just run the ball, try to get more yardage to make it an easy kick. Nope. Fitzgerald will throw on 3rd and 10. Now he takes off. He's at the 25-yard line and close to the first down. Look at the quarterback lower the shoulder and drill the defensive back Tony Brown to get the first down. This kid's fearless.
Fitzgerald, when he escapes the pocket, he's looking to throw. It's not often that he escapes the pocket and keeps the football. Right there, he sees that he's got a blocker out in front and a full head of steam, and he knows he can get the yardage, as clearly Nick Saban is displeased with what his defense is putting out there.
Giving up a 3rd and 10 with this defense. So a first down on the 15-yard line. Fitzgerald keeping. Dropped at the 12 by Deron Payne. A 3-yard pickup. Midway through the 3rd quarter, 3-point Bama lead.
And Greg, Dave, you know, talking with Nick Saban right before we went to half, I mean, he listed all the things. We don't have the ball, we had poor field position, and we couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. I think that's the most demoralizing thing to a defense that is so used to dominating on 1st and 2nd down, and then they get behind the chains and they have such an advantage. They've not one time had Mississippi State behind the chains here in this game, certainly in the 2nd half.
All those injured linebackers for Alabama. 2nd and 7. Here's Williams on the cutback. Oh, he goes up high into the air to get the first down. 1st and goal at the 3.
Vertical.
Williams already with 2 rushing touchdowns. Let's see if they give it to him to try to get number 3. The quarterback keeps it. And Fitzgerald hit by Jones at the 2. Mississippi State looking to go back in front, led twice in the first half. 7-0. And then 14-7. What will Dan Mullen call here? A lot of options. 2nd and goal from the 2.
I might try to get Nick Fitzgerald out on the perimeter. Sprint him to the right. And see if you can't find a receiver in the flat, perhaps. That way you have a run-pass option, potentially, and some green grass to the wide side.
And it is Fitzgerald rolling out, looking to run, gets hit, and drives through the defender into the end zone. Touchdown! You saw Nick Saban there just a moment ago talking with defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt. Probably wondering what happened to our defense on that drive. 13 plays, 69 yards, 6 minutes and 38 seconds. And it's 21-17 Mississippi State.
In order to beat Alabama, you have to have a superhuman performance from your quarterback. Nick Fitzgerald trying to deliver, and his coach love it.
I do what it takes.
Our next top-ranked boxing event comes to you tonight after we're done here on ESPN from Fresno. Co-main events, Artur Beterbiev battles Enrico Colin for Ombre Ward's vacated IBF light heavyweight belt, and Jose Carlos Ramirez in line for a WBO and WBC junior welterweight title bout. It has to beat Mike Reed first. We saw Nick Fitzgerald after the touchdown feeling ill. Appeared to be vomiting on the sideline. Right into the medical tent, but is out. And a deep kickoff. And Alabama will start at the 25 at first. Here's Adnan.
Thank you, Dave. It's AARP Real Possibilities Studio Update. TCU and Oklahoma. Rodney Anderson, 3 straight 100-yard games coming in. Had a 30-yard game, and on the next play, that 24-yard for the touchdown. Sooners up 24-7 all over TCU. Dave?
It'll be really interesting, especially if Alabama goes down. If the top 3 teams in the playoff rankings lose, what happens with Oklahoma? What happens with some 2-loss teams? A lot of time left here. A lot of time left in Miami, but a great start for the Canes, up 14-0 over Notre Dame. On the Alabama 25, Hurts back to throw. Running around. And this pass is broken up and nearly picked off on the redirection off of the helmet. Donovan Abram with the pass breakup. Now here is, after the touchdown by Nick Fitzgerald, he vomits on the sideline. We were looking at the replay trying to see if he got hit awkwardly in the helmet, but didn't see anything.
They just went on a 13-play drive. He went in the tent, came out. He's standing alert and ready.
McElroy is going with exhaustion.
Could be it.
His backup is a true freshman. If something were to keep Fitzgerald from continuing, 2nd and 10, and Hurts gets hit. Hurts gets out of there. They're trying to rip the ball out. Hurts does a good job to hold on to it. He's still taken down for a sack at the 23, bringing up 3rd and long. Mississippi State looks like it's coming. And now Hurts surveying. They bring pressure. Hurts pass is tipped and incomplete. Broken up by McLaurin.
Defensive coordinator Todd Grantham opting to bring pressure right up the middle. And you can see McLaurin getting his hand on it. Jalen trying to get rid of it quickly on a quick slant. Just not quick enough.
J.K. Scott to punt for Alabama from inside his 10-yard line. Dedrick Thomas taken down right away at the 36-yard line. Mississippi State defense balling, holding Alabama to 17. Greg, take us back with our Buick Drive recap.
Outstanding 13-play drive by Mississippi State. This right here on 3rd and 10. Nick Fitzgerald opting to keep it on the left-hand side, picking up the needed yards, and Aris Williams goes vertical. And Fitzgerald calls his own number for the touchdown. Huge drive from Mississippi State. They have all the momentum here midway through the 3rd quarter.
They have dominated time of possession. Alabama had the ball for only 8 minutes in the first half. And Mississippi State owning the football here in the 3rd quarter. Fitzgerald turning it upfield. Oh, man, he gets leveled by Deshaun Hand. Hops to his feet, though. No gain. They've allowed 3 rushing touchdowns on defense tonight, the most under Nick Saban. The last time it happened, Craig McElroy was, what, a freshman in high school? Is that about right?
No, I was actually a freshman in college, and Joe Kynes was the interim coach. That was the Independence Bowl, and Joe Kynes famously said, you got to stop the inside trap. And that was exactly what he said. That inside trap got us a couple times that night against the Pokes.
But good first down defense here with Hand delivering the blow to Fitzgerald. And now Fitzgerald going to run it again. And he's taken down at the 38-yard line. I mean, you made the point on the last drive of exhaustion perhaps of that 13-play drive. I mean, he's getting a lot of run here in the 3rd quarter. They're keeping it in his hands.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for him to have 15, 20, 25 carries. He can handle that load. He's that big of a body. But with all the adrenaline and the emotion, there's no doubt that I'm sure he's feeling it a little bit. He's taking some shots tonight, too.
He has, Greg. I'm watching him right now. He's shaking his head a little bit and kind of loosening his neck after each and every play, getting up, kind of getting himself resituated.
You know, we talked with him yesterday. Remember when Dak Prescott was here? He was vibrant, and this guy comes into a room and he's stoic. He does not change emotion at all through our 10-minute conversation. So he can handle these moments. 3rd and 9. And he's right on cue with a beautiful pass. And Mixon is free. Down to the 41 of Alabama. How about that pass by Fitzgerald?
We told you at the very beginning, Fitzgerald's got to throw it into some tight windows. How's that for coverage? Tony Brown is right on it. I mean, that's a great route, great separation. That's an NFL throw. That's the type of accuracy you have to display when you're trying to dissect Alabama through the air. Right on cue there for Fitzgerald.
22 yards, and look what happens. They go right back to the huddle. Take more time off the clock. Keep that Alabama offense on the sideline. Handful of times now they've been in Crimson Tide territory. Harris Williams. And again, able to push the pile, dragging the defender to the 39-yard line. Georgia lost earlier tonight, the #1 team. The #3 team, Notre Dame, is down 17-0 in Miami right now. And the #2 team is trailing late 3rd quarter in Starkville, with Mississippi State trying to add to its 4-point lead. Now, the last time #1 and #2 lost on the same day, you got to go back to 2012. I wonder when the last time #1, 2, and 3 all went down. Might happen tonight.
College football. It's the greatest sport in the world. You never know what's going to happen.
On 2nd and 7, another run play. Williams again keeps the legs driving. Gets to the 36-yard line for about 3. Going to bring up 3rd down and 4 for Mississippi State.
This is a really interesting play call here, Tom. 3rd and 5, right. Potential 4-down territory, albeit unlikely depending on how close they get to the sticks. It'll be interesting to see if they run it or throw it here on 3rd and manageable.
But there's so many options too, Greg, and I don't think we can emphasize it enough how each and every one of these snaps, that ball, that clock's going down inside 10 seconds and just frustrating Alabama.
3-1 time of possession, Mississippi State over Alabama. They have to get just past the 28-yard line. And Fitzgerald will throw, and the receiver comes free as the defender slips. It's Dedrick Thomas inside the 20. Thomas still going. All the way to the 11-yard line for 25 yards.
Dedrick Thomas working against Levi Wallace out of the bunch. Just a great route. You can see Wallace slipping as Thomas slipped back inside, trying to create some chaos with that bunch formation. That's exactly what they got, and picked up yet another big conversion through the air.
From the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. Williams down to the 9-yard line. We'll see if Mississippi State runs another play or just waits till the 4th quarter. Darrell Williams, the left guard, a little slow to get up.
The way this thing's gone so far, I'm pretty sure they're not running any plays.
We go to the 4th quarter in Starkville. Alabama has won 30 consecutive regular season games, has not lost in the regular year since September of 2015, but they're down 4 going to the 4th. Welcome back to a great scene. College football on ESPN presented by Hampton by Hilton, the SEC on ESPN. Taco Bell, a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. The last time #1, #2, and #3 all lost on the same day was in 1966. Could it happen tonight? Mississippi State 2nd and 8 on the 9. Here goes Fitzgerald. And he gets just a yard. 3rd and long coming up. In fact, it was January 1st, 1966. So these were all bowl games the last time the top 3 lost on the same day. Georgia lost earlier tonight. Notre Dame down 17-0 at Miami. A huge 3rd down and 6. Can they extend the lead with a touchdown? Or will Alabama keep it a 1-score game? Fitzgerald rolling out, looking, lobbing, end zone, incomplete, going for Jordan Thomas. And then after the play, pushing and shoving going on the goal line. The officials have not thrown a flag yet. So it's 4th down, and Mississippi State's going to have to bring on the field goal team. Jamal Couch of Mississippi State was getting into it with a couple of Alabama players, and you saw some of Couch's teammates go in there and rip him away from the fray.
Big stop right there from Alabama after Mississippi State has done a great job getting to this part of the field, stalling there on a 3rd and long. But there's some bad blood in this rivalry. There's no denying that. You can see, as evidenced by what happened after the play, a little chippy on the field.
Chase Crispin has not missed this season. He's 8 of 8 on field goal tries. And he stays perfect and extends the Bulldog lead to 7, 24-17. There is a penalty flag down, though, at the 16-yard line. It's a 5-yard penalty. It might make Dan Mullins
running into the kicker. Defense. Penalty is declined. Point is good.
It would have been a 5-yard penalty. It still would have been 4th down, but Dan Mullins said, you know, we're taking the points. We're not going to go for it on 4th and 1. So it's 24-17, Mississippi State.
Now you're watching that, while Dari, Gene, and Chris are watching this, doing that, and talking to this guy, which means you can watch it all later when you tune in to SEC Now, tonight on the SEC Network.
Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. A field goal by Mississippi State. A big stop by Alabama to keep it a 1-score game. And running it out of the end zone is Henry Ruggs, a true freshman. He gets a block, and he can't get away, though, from the defender at the 17-yard line. Donovan Abram.
Here in the second half, defensive coordinator Todd Grantham is opted to bring a little bit more pressure with his defense. They've pinned their ears back when they're rushing the passer. This time only 4, but getting home on a 3rd down, bringing McLaurin right there in the A-gap on the right-hand side, tipping the pass. They've been very aggressive defensively, and it's paid off for them at this point of the game.
Mentioned that winning streak of 30 straight regular season victories. Off the left side, it's Jacobs, and he gets good yardage, about 7. First-year defensive coordinator Todd Grantham, who was a Nick Saban protege, coach for him at Michigan State. Excellent D coordinator.
Outstanding. Very well respected.
Was at Georgia for a bit, then at Louisville the last couple of years. Here's Hurts taking off. Beautiful move by Hurts. And then look at Hurts lower the boom on McLaurin. Out to the 33 for 8 yards.
That just goes to show you just how strong Jalen Hurts is. Powerlifting champion in high school. Safeties with momentum just bounce right off of him.
And Greg, go back to the beginning of the play and the move that he put on Des Harris. That's who's down right now. He's injured because of the move Jalen Hurts put on him.
And Harris has had a ton of injuries over the course of his career. 3 torn ACLs. Back in a moment. Timeout.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by USAA. Show your appreciation this Veterans Day using #HonorThroughAction.
Hi, I'm Captain Tim Dixon. On behalf of all of the Alabama alumni and fans in the 908th Airlift Wing at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery,
And we are so thankful for all those who have served or are currently serving in the military. First down for Alabama on its 33, trailing by 7. Here's Josh Jacobs to the outside, getting the first down. To the 47-yard line, a 14-yard run for Jacobs. Jalen Hurts, again tonight, Greg, we're seeing the poise of the young man.
It's amazing. Just to think that he's 20 years old, only in his second year. He started a lot of football games, obviously. He just handles situations like this just masterfully for a guy so young.
Hurts will keep it here. He's got running room. Breaks a tackle. Again, you see the strength and then the speed. To the 40-yard line, 14 yards in the ground there for Hurts, who played for his dad in high school. Abrion, a longtime high school coach in Texas. And then Jalen's mom is in the picture as well. She's a math special education junior high teacher.
Jalen Hurts is a special young man. It's a real testament to those two right there. What a great job they've done raising him. And no moment's been too big for him over the course of his career.
Jonathan Abram hurt for Mississippi State. Des Harris was injured earlier on this drive. While we have a moment, let's check in with Adnan in the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Once again, updating you on what's happening in the Big 12 in Norman. I'm telling you, it's all Oklahoma. Henderson again. He's got over 80 yards rushing, over 80 yards receiving. Right now, Oklahoma having the way with the Horned Frogs. 31-14. They're not yet at the half. Dave?
And you'd have to think that they're going to jump back into the top 4 with Georgia losing and Notre Dame down 20-0 right now. And the number 2 team in the country down 7 here in the 4th.
And that's a good defense they're playing. I mean, TCU, for a Big 12 team, they have really good personnel on defense. Baker Mayfield just continues to do things that just don't make sense. He's spectacular.
Best player in college football in 2017.
Yeah, he is.
Look at the time of possession. Alabama's had it for only 13 minutes in this game. And a timeout called by Mississippi State. They have to burn one on defense. The Bulldogs have the lead, but Nick Saban's squad is on the move right now. Kick off your Week 10 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. And then our Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup is a good one between the Dolphins at 4-4 and Cam Newton's Panthers at 6-3. Kickoff at 8:15. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill in Starkville. Mississippi State hasn't beaten Alabama since Nick Saban's first year back in 2007. 9 straight losses. In the last 2 years, they scored just 9 combined points against Bama. They got 24 tonight. But the tide is moving, 1st and 10 on the Mississippi State 40. And Hurts will throw. Blitz coming. Hurts is sacked at the 45-yard line. Mark McLaurin. Man, every time they brought him with pressure, McLaurin's made a play.
Mark McLaurin coming off the edge with the safety pressure, and Jalen Hurts knows it's coming, just doesn't have anywhere to go. Runs into Josh Jacobs, and he's dropped for a loss. Big play and great call by Todd Grantham trying to catch Alabama's offense sleeping.
It's 2nd and 15. Here's Jacobs turning it upfield and stepped out around the 34-yard line, so he gets a big chunk of it back, 11 yards.
And Greg, let's see what gap Todd Grantham decides to attack this time. I mean, he's gone from the A gap to the B gap. He's overloaded the edges, keeping this Alabama offensive line and Jalen Hurts on their heels, not quite having the answers for where the pressure's coming from.
Tom, keep in mind, if you're Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, this could be 4-down territory depending on what you get right here.
3rd down and 4. Pass play. Hurts setting up, and the pass in the dirt and ruled incomplete, intended for Devontae Smith. 4th and 4. It would be about a 52-yard field goal try for Papanastis, whose long is 46. So the offense will stay on the field. Do you agree with the decision here to go for it on 4th and 4?
I don't. I would punt it and try to play the field position game. Trust your defense in this scenario. Now the play clock's running a little low. They're going to have to hustle to get up and get it snapped to get it communicated.
They have not failed on 4th down this year. 11 of 11. Play clock at 5. Hurts calling for the snap. Hurts to throw. Got a whistle, and Mississippi State called a timeout. So that will leave the Bulldogs with just 1.
Had a bit of a substitution issue.
Yeah, you could see Grantham motioning to get off the field. They had 12 guys.
Right. And the last time they took a timeout, they were having a difficult time lining up and then followed up with a sack. So let's see what Grantham dials up at here on 4th.
Timeout was called prior to the substitution foul by Mississippi State. Their second of the half.
Oh, they've got guys out there that don't normally play a ton because of all the injuries they've had on defense in this ballgame. We've seen Des Harris, Brandon Bryant, 2 starters go down with injury.
2 timeouts off the board, though, guys. Defensively, this thing's got a lot of time to go. 11 minutes here in the 4th quarter. That's 2 timeouts you can't afford to burn if you're Mississippi State.
All right, let's focus here, guys, on Alabama offensively. They're going for it here in 4th and 4. What should we look for?
I think you have to get Jalen Hurts out on the perimeter. It'll simplify his read. The problem with that is that the ball is on the right hash, and he's a right-handed passer. So in a perfect world, you'd love to run him to the right. But since the ball's on the right hash, you might be forced to run him to the left. He's been sound in the pocket for the better part of this game, and has been pretty accurate. Missed on the last slant, though, when he had an open wide receiver.
Steps up and runs and has the first down past the 25 down to the 21. Smart play. Saw that everybody was covered and took off and picked up close to 15 yards.
Huge play. How many times over the course of the last 2 years have we seen Jalen Hurts take off on a critical down and distance to pick up the needed yardage with his feet? So many times he's been able to create on his own right there. There hasn't been a bigger play in the game by that young man.
Always seems to make the right decisions. Hurts to the left side. Twirl to the turf at the 14, but that's 7 yards on first down. Errol Thompson shaken up, and he's in there for the injured Des Harris. They're going to have to go 3rd string here at linebacker. We talked about all the linebackers for Alabama that are injured. So it's a 2nd down and 3 coming up for Alabama. But while we have a moment, we'll bring an Adnan from the studio.
Thanks very much, Dave. Just want to update you on what's happening with regards to Notre Dame and Miami. So Ian Book is in for Brandon Wimbush. That's Trajan Bandy, the pick 6. Notre Dame quarterbacks have 5 completions and 3 interceptions. They are getting hammered on ABC. 27-0 right now at the half. The U is back. Dave?
Man, and Adnan, you think about it, Miami had some close games where they barely won, and we thought going into Virginia Tech, oh, they're going to get beat by the Hokies. It didn't happen. They won rather easily, and look what they're doing to Notre Dame in that offense.
They are so good at the line of scrimmage defensively. In the front 7, I mean, their linebackers as a unit, they're as good a group as I've seen in college football. They are off the charts good with Quarterman and McLeod, Pinkney, clearly making life difficult for a Notre Dame offense that is majored in running the football, not having a lot of success clearly tonight.
You saw Errol Thompson walk to the Mississippi State locker room. Des Harris is back on the field, so that's good news for Mississippi State. Again, 3 ACL injuries. He got hurt earlier in the quarter, but is back out there for 2nd and 3. 10th play of the drive. It's been mostly run plays. Here comes pressure. Harris straight ahead. First down and more. And Petered, Alabama. A chance for the Tide to tie it.
a drive by Alabama. 10 plays, 82 yards. Tremendous poise and outstanding execution.
Really impressive with Alabama's ability to weather the storm, deal with the ebbs and flows. And we talk about Jalen Hurts. That's his
After the
best
play was
attribute.
over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 70, the offense, that penalty is 15 yards and will be enforced on succeeding kickoff. That's number 70's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So you heard that Alex Leatherwood, who is a backup offensive lineman that's out there, committed a foul that will be enforced on the kickoff, which could be big.
That's a huge foul. Just when you seize momentum, you make a mistake like that. You don't see that very often from Alabama.
Papanastis to tie the game. Splits the uprights. Third different Alabama player to score a rushing touchdown in this game. 24-24. Alabama trying to stay unbeaten and get to #1 in the country. Ties the game back up here in Starkville. Tuesday, a lot going on ESPN. We got the State Farm Champions Classic from the United Center in Chicago with #1 Duke taking on #2 Michigan State at 7, followed by 5 against 4 Kentucky, Kansas at 9:30. We also have the release of the latest college football playoff rankings. Who will be #1? It won't be Georgia. At this rate, it won't be Notre Dame. Will it be the tie? Alabama just tied the game at 24 here in Starkville. But a penalty on Alex Leatherwood took his helmet off and went and celebrated with the team while he wasn't in the game. So they got him for a penalty, so Alabama's kicking from the 20-yard line. It bounces at the 20, and here's Todd past the 30. Todd to the 40-yard line. Adnan Burke in the studio.
Thanks very much, Dave. Stop me if you've heard this before. Rodney Anderson doing big things for Oklahoma. He has over 200 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns, and that's in the first half for the Sooners against that TCU defense, 38-14. A huge rout in Norman. Also coming up next, Jose Ramirez. He's fighting for water rights for farmers in California. In the super lightweight rankings, he certainly ranks high. Top-ranked boxing coming up after your game, Dave.
And who knows when this game will end. 9:42 to go. And we're even. And great starting field position for Mississippi State because of celebration penalty on a true freshman for Alabama on the sideline. Talked about the poise of Hurts. Nick Fitzgerald's been pretty good in that department as well tonight. Harris Williams getting the carry. Beautiful stutter step. He just darted forward after he waited for a heartbeat. Picks up 8 yards.
They have really committed to trying to run the football and have had success, particularly running behind their left tackle, Martinez Rankin, and their left guard, Darrell Williams. Those two guys up front. If Mississippi State gave out helmet stickers, they'd each get a few of them after the performance that they've had against what is a stout and athletic defensive line group for Alabama.
Harris Williams closing in on 100 yards. They'll get it again on 2nd and 2. And again does a great job of being patient. Picks up the first down. 21 carries now for Harris Williams, who added weight in the offseason, got a lot stronger, and you can see it paying off tonight.
Alabama just having a hard time, Greg, with their run fits. And it's easy to sit there and say the inexperience at linebackers playing a role, and it may very well be. But it's those guys in front of the linebackers that it's been so surprising to see Mississippi State control the line of scrimmage. You get movement.
Well, they've had 46 rushing attempts, Tom. Have really tried to commit to delivering those body blows to Alabama's front.
First down in Alabama territory. Williams getting the carry for a 3rd straight play. Stumbles for about 2.
Greg, think about how Mississippi State started this game. They came out throwing the football in the first 3 downs. Nick Fitzgerald got pummeled. And then the play that changed things for them was the punt with the penalty, and it gives them a fresh set of downs, and Mississippi State goes right down the field.
Alabama's given up 171 rushing yards. They allow on the season just 76. Fitzgerald will run this time. And doesn't get much. Good job by Alabama up front. Deron Payne, so good at the point of attack. 3rd and long for Mississippi State.
Nick Fitzgerald has had a lot of success on 3rd down tonight. Mississippi State 8 of 13, keeping drives alive, and they've had a number of 3rd down attempts that have been 8 or more, which is very difficult and not a down and distance that Mississippi State has had success with to this point of the season. Probably the biggest snap of the game at this point for the Bulldogs right now.
Fitzgerald will throw on 3rd and 8. Fires to the sideline. It's caught, but short of the line to gain. Thomas on the catch. Fitzpatrick in coverage, and you got 4th and about 3. Do you punt it and try to pin them deep, or do you keep the offense on the field and go?
Looks like they're going to punt it. And I agree with this. Their defense, for the most part, outside of that last drive, has been pretty solid tonight. And their punter, you got to give him credit as well, Cook. He's dropped it inside the 5 a couple times. And if you can pin Alabama deep on this side of the field with the student section right behind you, that's advantage for the defense.
This one he kicked too hard. A touchback. It'll come out to the 20. That's a huge mistake by the punter, Logan Cook. This week's college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. They're going to look a lot different next week at this rate, with Miami trouncing Notre Dame, Georgia getting hammered at Auburn, Oklahoma dominating TCU. The Wisconsin Badgers, who you said on Tuesday night, if they win out, they're going to be in the college football playoff. They stay unbeaten, now 10-0.
Everyone laughed at me.
I did. I was with you, bro.
Wisconsin continues to take care of business.
They got Michigan next week in Madison.
No doubt.
1966, January 1st, the last time the top 3 ranked teams lost on the same day. Notre Dame's down 27-0, by the way. Jacobs past the 25, actually Scarborough, excuse me, to the 26. So that's a good play on 1st down as Scarborough gets 6 yards.
This is where Scarborough has been effective over the course of his career. 4th quarter, late in the game, you put in a running back that's 235 pounds. He's difficult to bring down, so when your legs are tired defensively, dragging down big number 9 is no easy task.
Scarborough again, got the 1st down and more. Out to the 36, 10 yards for Bo Scarborough. That Mississippi State defense is relatively fresh. But right now, Alabama's offensive line winning at the line of scrimmage.
And these backs are fresher.
They keep rotating. They went Harris, Jacobs, and now Scarborough. 3rd straight carry for Scarborough. To the 40-yard line, another 1st down. Stepped out near midfield. 13 more yards, 5.5 to go. And Scarborough calling for substitution as he hobbles a bit to the sideline.
Yeah, he looked a little awkward going out of bounds right there. If he could have tight-roped that sideline, there was a lot of green grass. Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, calling the same play 3 consecutive snaps, just a sweep to the wide side of the field.
1st down to the Alabama 49. Here's Harris off the right edge, and Harris has running room past the 40-yard line. Gets upended inside the 35, but it's all about the run game here in the 4th quarter for Alabama. Just dominating Mississippi State with the rush.
In particular, on the perimeter. That play right there, the exact same play as they ran the previous 3. That wide sweep. Try to get out on the edge with momentum.
129 rushing yards in the 4th quarter. They had about 80 through the first 3 quarters. From the State 33, Harris again, and this time they stop him after a 1-yard gain. It's Errol Thompson, who was injured earlier, comes back on the field and makes a play here. 2nd and long.
Really nice tackle by Errol Thompson right there. There was some grass out in front of Harris if he could evade big number 40, but he drops him there for a short gain.
2nd and 8 on the 31. Hurts will throw it here, facing pressure, and he just throws it away. 3rd and 8 at the 31. Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator. Will he dial it up here?
They need to account for Jalen Hurts' legs. On 4th and 4, they brought pressure. He broke free and picked it up with his legs. They got to spy the quarterback and not let him any free rush lanes.
They blitz on 3rd and long. Hurts taking a shot to Ridley down the field. Incomplete. Oh, but a flag. A flag thrown at Chris Rayford. There was contact at the 10-yard line. That's a good place to go with the ball because Ridley is so talented. He's either going to catch it or they're going to interfere with him on those jump balls.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Definitely the right call.
Absolutely. A lot of contact there by Rayford. Good call by the officials. Not a popular call here in Starkville, as you can hear from the crowd's reaction, but the correct call nonetheless.
So it's a first down at the 16-yard line, nearing 4 minutes to play here in regulation. That was 3rd and long, and they get a 15-yard pass interference call at Chris Rayford. Hurts keeping it, trying to get outside, and he steps out after minimal gain to the 15.
So this is where Jalen Hurts has been so good, guys. He's only turned the ball over one time all year long, but he has yet to turn the ball over in the red area. He's been perfect. 6 touchdowns, no turnovers. He understands the moment in situational football in relationship to field position.
We have to wonder why Brian Dable has abandoned that wide sweep play here, though, Tom. You have to think they might try to get back to that at some point on this drive. They had so much success with it early.
There's Harris leaving the backfield. Hurts on the run. Dragged down for a sack by Jeffrey Simmons. Although, wait a second, Hurts was acting as if he landed on the defender, Simmons, but they blew the whistle at the 20-yard line. So it's a big loss of about 6 yards. Let's see if he indeed went down. Oh, yeah, clearly down. That's smart by Hurts. Just get up, though. But we knew Jeffrey Simmons at some point would step up and make a play. He did there, forcing a 3rd and 14. Empty backfield as you see Harris leaving and going wide to the right. Hurts trying to find a running lane. It's not there. He's sacked again at the 23 by Green. It'll be about a 40-yard field goal try to give Alabama the lead. Andy Pappanastis has made a 30-yarder tonight. His season long is 46. He's 15 of 18 on the season. It'll be a 41-yard try.
Was good. Hold was good. Ball flight was good. Just wide to the left for Pappanastis, who's been so consistent this year for Alabama in the kicking game.
Mississippi State takes over on its 23 with just one timeout. 2:03 on the clock here in regulation. It's a shovel pass, and it gains only about a yard to Farrod Green. Does Mississippi State go fast here, or do they say, you know what, we got only one timeout, let's be conservative? I play for overtime.
I think they play conservative, but Alabama has to be thinking they have 3 timeouts in their hip pocket. Depending on what happens here on second down, they could potentially decide to maybe take one and see if they can't get another possession. I think Dan Mullen's going to opt to run the football. That's been the point of least resistance so far for Mississippi State tonight.
Well, they snap it with about 15 on the play clock. Take a shot down the field, and it's picked off. Oh, no, Hootie Jones dropped it. He had it, and he rolled over and couldn't maintain possession. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Now, it looked like he never had it actually on that replay. Throw is low. Would have been a great pick had he come up with it.
Would have been a great pick. Just a miscommunication between Fitzgerald and the intended wide receiver. He thought he was going to hook up over the middle.
I'm just surprised they threw the ball.
Me too.
And they snapped it with so much time on the play clock. When you're in a situation, you're back at your 24-yard line. You only have one timeout. Fitzgerald, design run. He's going nowhere. And Alabama will call a timeout to stop the clock with 1:15 to go. Or will they? No. Yeah, they do. They a couple more seconds came off the clock there. Looked like it should have been 1:15 when that timeout was called. 4th down.
Really surprised by that sequence.
Yeah, me too.
From Mississippi State, opting to run the ball and then throw the ball, not forcing Alabama to burn one of their timeouts. Now you're having to punt it back to them, giving them potentially good field position to give Papanastis another shot, maybe on a game-winning field goal.
And you got Jalen Hurts, too, who has handled these situations so well over the course of his career. Alabama, though, the damage it's done in the fourth quarter, Greg, has been running the football. And you're in a situation now with not a lot of time left where it's probably going to be up to Hurts through the air.
With 2 timeouts, you have a little bit more freedom to potentially run the ball if you choose.
They need a good punt from Cook, and they get it. Fair caught by Marks at the 32-yard line. Tonight at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 Pacific on SportsCenter. Following championship boxing on ESPN, Kirk Herbstreit will break down Showdown Saturday. The impact of Miami's upset over Notre Dame if it holds up. Also, Sixers-Warriors, Ben Simmons against Steph Curry. Baker Mayfield may be running away with the Heisman at this rate. SportsCenter, Linda Cohn, Stan Verrett, also streaming on the ESPN app. So Alabama has the ball on its 32-yard line. 2 timeouts left. 1:09 to go in regulation, tied at 24. Hurts will throw on 1st down. Looking. Rolling out, running, stepping out. And he gained only a yard. 1:01 on the game clock.
A good job downfield, guys, by the secondary there for Mississippi State. But more importantly, the ability to keep your eyes on the quarterback, come back and make a play and not let him gash you on the ground.
Papanastis just missed a 41-yarder. His long in the season is 46. Keep that in mind here on 2nd and 9. Hurts over the middle. It's caught by Ridley at the 45. 1st down to the 48-yard line. Clock will stop as they reset the chains.
If I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm looking in the direction of number 3 on every single drop back.
Hurts again to the air. Pressure coming. Hurts on the rollout. Throws it out of bounds. 44 seconds to go in regulation. Pressured by Lewis. So now that you're at the 48, Greg, does the running game come back into play here at all for Alabama?
I think that a quarterback draw could be the play call right here potentially, because you have those timeouts. You have to save one for the field goal unit, but you have the luxury of running it if you so choose.
Hurts will throw on 2nd down. He gets hit, and he's sacked at the 43-yard line. Alabama has to use a timeout. That'll leave the Tide with 36 seconds to go, and they got 3rd and long coming up. 5 sacks by Mississippi State in this ball game. All right, so Greg, you got 3rd and long here. 36 seconds remaining in the game. How does Alabama handle this situation in regulation in a tie game?
Like I said, on the last play, I think it might be a quarterback draw, because if you throw incomplete, then you're potentially punting again. And Mississippi State, being as good as they are blocking punts and blocking kicks over the course of the last few seasons, I think a run here right now, see what you get, and then evaluate how you want to play the 4th down conversion potentially.
However this thing shakes out, what a day in college football. Number 1 Georgia falls. Number 3 Notre Dame is getting blown out at Miami. Number 2 Alabama is tied in a big 3rd and 15 with 38 seconds remaining in regulation. They blitz Hurts. He's in trouble. He's hit, but he steps up. He's got Green. But wait, a timeout was called by Mississippi State. Nobody heard it.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Mississippi State. 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Well, I think they're
this
glad
will be a
that
30-second timeout.
There's some boos, but did you see how much running room Hurts had off the left side?
There was nobody home. It was, I don't know if they iced the offense there. That was interesting, because they brought pressure and Jalen Hurts escaped, and there was nothing but green grass out in front. Clearly, Dan Mullen not liking what he saw from the defensive alignment. Want to take a little additional time to take a peek at what he wants to dial up.
Does this change your strategy offensively now, knowing that Mississippi State is out of timeouts on 3rd down?
It doesn't.
You still run a quarterback draw, and then if you get the 1st down, great. And if not, you just run the clock out, because you don't have to punt now.
Right.
Because you're inside 40 seconds to go, and Mississippi State doesn't have a timeout.
Right. You can really take a shot down the field, too, if you'd like. I think you run every receiver out of there as fast as humanly possible that those guys can run out. And then you let Jalen Hurts maneuver around in the backfield a little bit and then see if he can bust free. But I would definitely try to keep the ball on the ground if I'm Alabama.
See, the Bulldogs are showing blitz there. Hurts waiting. Here they come. Hurts to Ridley. Got it at the 45, at the 40. Ridley gets Alabama in field goal range, stepping out at the 26 with 31 seconds to go.
Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, showed it. You saw the pressure. You saw the blitz. Brian Daboll knew it. Jalen Hurts knew it. Delivered the slant on time to their best weapon at wide receiver.
Pappenopoulos missed from 41. Be about a 43-yarder from here, but Alabama, they can run the ball. They have a timeout. 31 seconds remaining. Hurts over the middle. It's caught inside the 10-yard line. Broken tackle. Devontae Smith. Touchdown, Bama. They go to a true freshman for the go-ahead score with 25 seconds remaining.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword defensively. When you man up in that situation, you better be better than the opponent.
(31-24) Alabama after Jalen Hurts' 11th touchdown pass of the season.
What an incredible sequence by Jalen Hurts in this offense. Blitz right in his face. McLaurin off the edge. And he finds Smith on the slant. And Devontae Smith, one of the most sure-handed receivers on the team as a true freshman, catches it in stride and splits the defense for the touchdown. Mr. and Mrs. Hurts are loving it.
So impressed again with Jalen Hurts and how he handles the big moment. And now Mississippi State out of timeouts. They had to burn a couple early in the second half.
Now you talk about Jalen Hurts, Dave, and how he handles the moment. Just watch his body language. Whether you're in the peaks or the valleys of the game, he carries himself exactly the same, a calming force for this football team on that sideline.
And Tom, really, over the course of his career, he's beaten so many opponents with his legs. I think Mississippi State knew that, and they said, we're going to challenge you. We're going to blitz you.
Yep.
On critical down and distance. And he stands in there knowing he might get hit and delivers two perfectly thrown slants for the go-ahead score. Outstanding execution by the sophomore.
Pooch kick. And it goes out of bounds. What a terrible kick there.
What is he doing?
Kick out of bounds. Number 10. Receivers have elected the ball in play at the 35-yard line.
No idea why you would do that. You get the ball now at the 35-yard line. I know that he was trying to pooch and keep it in play.
You've got to keep it in play there.
Because now no time comes off the clock. You got 24 seconds. Granted, you got to go 65 yards without a timeout.
Fitzgerald's got the arm, though. If they can just pick up 10 or 12 or 15 yards, he can easily get it to the end zone in the potential Hail Mary situation.
So they put that second back on the clock. No time should have come off there. So they fix it to 25 seconds. Fitzgerald in trouble. Chased out of the pocket. On the run, gets hit, got to get rid of the ball. Now he lets it fly, and it's caught. And out of bounds is Todd with 16 seconds to go, and they're at the 49-yard line of Alabama. You go one more to the sideline here, 10, 15 yards, and then get two shots in the end zone, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. See if you can't pick up another first down. Of course, have to make sure everyone's alerted that a potential spike could happen if, in fact, the guy is tackled in bounds.
Fitzgerald moving to his left. Now throws. Incomplete. 11 seconds left. Todd couldn't hang on. Averett in coverage. Two more plays, you would think, left here for Mississippi State, and Fitzgerald will take a moment and talk with his head coach, Dan Mullen. Again, no timeouts. Fitzgerald moving to his left again. Throws it downfield. Broken off at the 20, incomplete. Fitzpatrick downfield makes the play on Jordan Thomas. 5 seconds to go. One shot to the end zone.
That's the guy you want to target in a contested catch situation. Big Jordan Thomas at 6'5", coming off the field rather gingerly too. In a Hail Mary situation, he's who you want on the field, so that's a potentially big loss not out there on the field. But Fitzgerald understands, got to buy some time and heave it as long as he can into the end zone.
Alabama drops 4 guys deep into the end zone. Fitzgerald backing up. Now stepping up, letting it fly. Into the end zone. It is knocked away. Incomplete, but a flag. A flag is thrown with no time left. Alabama's rushing the field, but we may have one more play here in Starkville.
Pass interference, defense number 42. 15-yard penalty, give you a spot. Automatic first down.
So 15-yard penalty, an untimed down. One more shot to the end zone for Mississippi State.
I have very rarely seen pass interference called on a Hail Mary, but clearly Holcomb tackles the intended wide receiver.
Made it an easy call for the official.
And it's a good call. It's the correct call. Even though there's a lot of contact in that Hail Mary pit, the correct call by the official.
So no time left. Alabama has a timeout remaining. Trying to figure out where exactly to spot the ball. It was on the 49-yard line, so 15-yard penalty puts it on the 34. No time left. Final play unless a penalty on Alabama. Fitzgerald backs up. Now launches it into the end zone, and he throws it too far. He throws it out of the back of the end zone. The game is over. Alabama survives. Number 1 goes down. Number 3 about to fall, but number 2 wins tonight. Come from behind fashion in Starkville. Let's go down to Tom.
Coach, how would you assess the performance of Jalen Hurts on that last drive to take your football team down and win this game?
Well, I think he did a fabulous job in the whole second half. Great job in the last couple drives. So even when we missed the field goal, that was a heck of a drive. So really proud of our team. This is a tough circumstance. We had a lot to overcome. Guy did a great job.
About your defense struggling to stop the run for most of the night, but you made some plays late there in the fourth quarter. How would you assess their performance?
Well, we got 2 stops when we needed to, which was the most important thing. We didn't play that great, but we got technically looked like what we got to do to fix it and try to get it fixed with our players.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks. Good job.
And there will be a familiar team at the top of the college football playoff rankings on Tuesday. Alabama stays undefeated, winning in Starkville against Mississippi State 31-24. Coming up next on ESPN, Top Rank Boxing. For Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Starkville.